Okay, didn't think I was going to do one of these, but here we go. Last year, due to my frustration with the WWE product and the lackluster pay-per-view build-up, I made a video titled Why You Shouldn't Order WrestleMania 24. After that pay-per-view aired, I got so much shit for that video that I can't even read the comments anymore. And in retrospect, WrestleMania 24 did turn out a lot better than I expected. So, keeping that in mind, I decided to give the WWE the benefit of the doubt this year and not do a Why You Shouldn't Order WrestleMania 25 video. I am now regretting that decision. Not that there weren't some good things about this pay-per-view, but as a whole, WrestleMania 25 was a colossal disappointment. We started off with Money in the Bank. Okay, this was good. Alright, Kofi Kingston was definitely the star of that match. Going in, I thought it was going to be Shelton Benjamin, but it wasn't. It was Kofi. Mark Henry didn't drag the match down like I was afraid he would. I hated that Hornswoggle got involved, but I liked the match a lot. The only problem I had was with the finish. I wanted Christian Cage to win. I think the crowd in Houston did too. You know, when Christian was climbing the ladder, reaching for that briefcase, the audience was going ballistic, and then CM Punk won and they booed his ass. I mean, even MVP would have been cool, but CM Punk, again, what's the point? When they did this with him last year, his title reign was a joke. So, good match, but I just didn't agree with the winner. At first, I could not believe why the tag title unification match wasn't on the show, but in hindsight, I probably shouldn't have been so surprised. Vince McMahon has been on a quest to destroy tag team wrestling for a long time now, so why stop now? But they, I mean, a title unification match is a really big deal, or at least it should be. I mean, for those guys to not be on the main card is just ridiculous. The Diva Battle Royal match. Scott Hudson said it best when he said that what the WWE did with their women at WrestleMania 25 was a joke. My God, what a waste of time this was. I mean, what is the point of bringing back all these former divas to come back for this match, this Miss WrestleMania match, if you weren't even going to announce them? I mean, I was looking forward to seeing Sonny and Molly Holly, and I couldn't even pick them out of the crowd. I mean, I think we all knew that going in that this was just going to be a bunch of filler just to get the divas on the show, but at the very least, they could have used this to put over Gail Kim. That's what I was hoping they would do. Anyway, because, I mean, Gail has only been back in WWE for a couple of weeks, and she's already completely faded into the crowd. But they didn't even do that. Instead, they had Santino in a dress come out and win the whole thing. And some people may have found this funny. I did not. I mean, as I was watching, all I could think was, wow, what a great way to completely piss all over your women's division. Chris Jericho versus the Three Legends. I was not expecting much from this one. When the match started, you had Chris Jericho bumping around for Piper and Snuka. It just looked really, really bad. But then all of a sudden, Ricky Steamboat got in there, and the whole thing became awesome. I mean, he was actually keeping up with Jericho there, man. He was busting out arm drags. He did a planche over the top rope. I was like, holy crap, this guy's still got it. But they had to go and ruin it with the Mickey Rourke thing. After the match, Chris Jericho had to call out Mickey Rourke, so then Mickey Rourke spends, I swear to God, 10 minutes milking the moment, getting into the ring, throws one punch, and knocks Jericho out cold. What the hell is that? After Chris Jericho beats up Jimmy Snuka, beats up Roddy Piper, beats up Ricky Steamboat, beats up Ric Flair, he goes down to one punch from Mickey Rourke? I don't care if Mickey Rourke was a boxer at one point. That is absolutely asinine, and for me, it completely ruined what was a really cool moment with Ricky Steamboat. Matt vs. Jeff Extreme Rules. Honestly, I was disappointed with this. I was expecting good things, but I was disappointed. It was a good match, but something was definitely missing here. I mean, there was not enough intensity for me. I mean, the spot with the ladder was cool, even though it was overshadowed by Money in the Bank. The double table spot was cool, and the finish was cool. But you know what? Take those three things out, and you have a SmackDown match. Again, the way they built this feud, I was expecting these guys to beat the living hell out of each other, and that's not what happened. And it wasn't bad, but for me, it just was not what it should have been. I'm not saying they should have gone as far as the Austin Aries Jimmy Jacobs I Quit match, but I was expecting more than what I got. And at least the right guy went over, though. I mean, if Matt's heel turn was going to work, he absolutely needed to go over in this match. And personally, I always thought Jeff was kind of overrated, and Matt never really got the appreciation he deserved. So I think he deserved to get the win here, and I'm glad he did. Bradshaw and Rey Mysterio for the IC title. You know, really not much to say about this. I mean, it was funny to see Bradshaw get humiliated. You know, I got a good laugh out of that. But at the same time, I couldn't help but feel kind of depressed at what the IC title has been reduced to. I mean, a 21-second squash. It's kind of sad. HBK and Undertaker. Holy crap. I mean, when Taker did that suicide dive and landed wrong, I thought he was dead. Seriously, I mean, he wasn't just slanting downward when he came down. I mean, when he landed, he was straight upside down. He came down and landed right on his freaking head. I jumped out of my chair. I honestly thought he broke his neck. When he got up from that, when he got up and that match kept going, I couldn't believe it. I mean, and the match itself was everything that we hoped it would be. The near falls were fantastic, and you kind of knew that Taker was going to win. But just for a minute, I think they really had people thinking that HBK had a chance, and that was all it took. Kind of slow in the beginning, but once that match went outside the ring, this thing turned to pure gold. Match of the night, probably match of the year, at least in WWE. Cena, Edge, and Big Show. Try as I might, I just could not get into this match. I couldn't get past all the horrendous build-up. I'm sorry. I wasn't looking forward to this thing in the first place. I couldn't bring myself to care about it. This was a backlash match. I mean, the work was fairly decent, and the double FU spot was pretty cool, and it was definitely better than the main event we got, but when it was all said and done, I just didn't care. Cena wins the title again. So what? Randy Orton, Triple H. People can call me a hater all they want for saying this. I don't care. This match was boring as hell, and anyone who tells you different is a liar. This match was slow-paced. Both guys phoned it in. It sucked all the life out of the crowd. No one in the audience cared about it. The booking was ridiculous. They put all this time, all this effort into building up Randy Orton, and then to just have Triple H go in there and squash him. They just Ortoned Randy Orton again. What is the point? All that build-up for nothing. Triple H is still the champion, and that dead silence you hear right now is the sound of 72,000 fans in Houston not giving a rat's ass. So you got HBK and Taker. You got Money in the Bank. Everything else, in my opinion, not WrestleMania quality. And I'm going to close this video tonight with some general thoughts I had about the WWE after watching this pay-per-view. Believe it or not, there was a time when I was a really big WWE fan, but when you get right down to it, there's always been a part of me that's had a real distaste for the way that WWE does business. Because if you're not a WWE sheep, if you're smart, if you've been paying attention, if you've been watching closely for a long time, then you know that there is an enormous amount of arrogance about the WWE as an entity. And maybe there always has been in a lot of ways, but I don't know, it's just become much more noticeable in this era. I think pretty much since WCW went out of business, it seems like the WWE has just started to put themselves above the fans, and their appreciation for the fans has gone right down the toilet. And it's obvious. I mean, they don't care about their fans anymore. They care about the fans' money. They care about stroking their own ego, and that's it. And you can see it in the product constantly. You see it every week with those did you know graphics they use all the time. Did you know WWE is seen in 30 different countries all over the world? Did you know Raw was the highest rated show on cable TV last week? Did you know SmackDown is the highest rated show on my network? Shut up! Stop bragging. Stop patting yourself on the back. I can't stand that crap. At least when TNA does stuff like that, with this for the record graphic they use sometimes, you get the sense that they actually care. For the record, TNA thanks the fans for the record-setting ratings for Impact last week. At least with TNA, you get the sense that they actually appreciate their fans for tuning in and watching, and you don't get that with the WWE. I mean, that's one of the main reasons why I'm still watching TNA, because in spite of all the problems with the company and the show, I know that at least they care about their fans. And Ring of Honor, too. ROH cares about their fans as well. With WWE, I feel like they just don't give a crap anymore. As long as they get your money, they could care less about you, which is pretty sad considering all the blind loyalty they get from all the sheep out there.